What's this?
This may be an L take, and I apologize in advance. But I couldn't see how niggas got into PewDiePie.
Well, guys.
Oh, we couldn't see how people got into PewDiePie.
There seems to be an epidemic, and as a person who has a commentary channel on YouTube, clearly I think my opinion is far more important than it actually is, so I feel like it is my duty to talk about that epidemic to you guys because, you know, I'm sure you care about what I think. Over the last, like, year or so, I'd say, but especially like
Tower Bridge.
Like the last 3 or 4 months, I've seen a pretty significant rise in something on the internet, especially in like the content creation / streaming world. It's become like what I guess you could call a problem. It's not really a problem because, you know, stuff like this doesn't really matter in the real world all that much. Maybe a little bit, we'll get into that later. But I feel like it's definitely affecting the integrity of content creation as a whole. And you know, that means something to me, so here we are. Now, what's inspiring today's video, if you will, was a couple of days ago, a clip of Cenat went viral on Twitter, where on stream he basically said he doesn't understand how anybody used to watch PewDiePie or like got into watching PewDiePie, implying that his videos were boring. And since PewDiePie was one of, if not the first content creators to really master the whole put your head down and let shit blow over method when it comes to getting out of controversy, these days I feel like the average opinion on PewDiePie is relatively positive. So this comment coming out of left field for seemingly no reason rubbed some people the wrong way. Now, I promise this is not going to be 10 minutes of me talking about what Cenat said about PewDiePie, but just for context, I'll show you the clip just so you have an idea of what actually happened.
That shit was fire to me. Hold on. This may be an L take.
What you finna say?
This may be an L take, and I apologize in advance. But I couldn't see how niggas got into PewDiePie. I'm sorry.
Nah, I agree. I feel like I didn't watch him. I mean,
Big Obi said he agrees, bro.
I'll be honest.
But I think PewDiePie was one of the first ones, no?
That might be an L take though. You feel me?
It be like that sometimes, but everybody's not for everybody because some niggas might say that about you.
Not facts.
It be like that.
Not for me personally though. I don't know.
Okay, so there's the clip, and like obviously nothing terrible is said. It is honestly a little worse in context. Usually that's not the way these things go. Usually things are like cut out to make things sound a little bit worse than usual. Not that that's really applicable here. We'll get to that in a second. But I scrubbed through the like 25 fucking hours of this stream to find where it was said. And right before this guy was talking about how like Jake Paul and Team 10 used to run shit. So to follow that up by saying, yeah, PewDiePie was
67-hour stream. Bro, the camera is not turning off.
This kind of ass is kind of weird, but you know, who cares? But as I was saying, it's not like Kai really says anything too bad here. He's just giving his opinion. Says he doesn't know how somebody got into a YouTuber. Who gives a fuck? Not everybody's gonna like the same YouTubers, but a lot of people on Twitter did seem to really get upset about this. I've seen dozens of YouTube videos made about this.
It's because he's big, innit, I guess. Anyone can have an opinion on someone, but if you're too big, then you can't really necessarily have an opinion. You gotta sort of be careful with the opinions because you influence or whatever. Fuck me, man. That's what he thinks. Cool, man. Whatever. But you're too big for that, boy. You can't say what you think.
And yeah, that was the intention. Rage bait has taken over the internet in a way that I have never seen it before. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Cenat is the kind of content creator right now where everything that is coming out of his mouth, everything that he's doing is being formulated by a team. He is basically like the Mr. Beast of streaming. This is not organic 100%. Content. He has teams within teams of people 100%. Looking for the most efficient ways to go viral, the best ways to get clips of him out there, people constantly looking for new and more effective ways to get people saying
he's got a massive machine behind him, a huge machine. You ever see his streams? It's like very well done.
The words Cenat, and every single fucking person on the internet plays right into it. Now look, rage baiting, engagement farming, clip farming, whatever you want to call it, it's nothing new. People have been making a fool of themselves or intentionally pissing other people off for views forever, but I feel like recently people have been able to take it to new heights. I feel like it's pretty fair to say that YouTubers or content creators in general, really, being genuine celebrities is still a relatively new thing. Sure, you can go back 10 years ago and there were a ton of content creators that were pretty big names and most of the people on the internet knew them, but these days you have guys like Cenat showing up in fucking T-Mobile commercials with Snoop Dogg and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I saw him on that Jimmy Kimmel, one of them fucking shows. So Jimmy Kimmel, fuck knows.
Got gambling commercials with Sketch and Drewski. You've got Mr. Beast partnering with one of the biggest companies in the world making a game show. I mean, things are different.
And it's like, yeah, when I see sort of stuff like that, when I see them in commercials, streamers, in commercials, and then I start seeing streamers in adverts and like Jimmy Kimmel. If it was Jimmy Kimmel, I can't remember what it was, but it was one of them late night shows where they, where he comes on the show. When I start seeing that, then you can clearly see there's a higher influence of a bigger company. Like, he's backed by a machine. You can see. You know what I mean?
These guys are no longer just internet names. It's just a different level of celebrity than we're used to seeing from people who got their fame off the internet. And with that, I feel like comes a new, basically...
The power of the machine. Telling ya.
The free way to get your name out there more and more every day, and it's doing shit like Cenat did with this clip. He says something that nobody's gonna care about, nobody's gonna remember after a few days, but is just controversial enough, just outside of the box enough that it pisses some people off, and then you've got free advertising on the front page of Twitter for the next 24 hours. Now, obviously, for the average content creator, even a relatively big content creator, something like this is not really gonna work. You're gonna have to say something more outrageous, more polarizing, something that produces more real emotions from people. But when you're one of the biggest content creators on the internet, every single thing you say is going to be seen by a lot of people. So anything that can be slightly polarizing is going to have this sort of effect. So when him saying something like this produces multiple tweets about him that all have millions of views, it's really no wonder that a lot of smaller content creators try and reproduce this effect by saying crazier and crazier shit. But I mean, I feel like we've talked about that kind of rage bait a lot already. You know, the kind of guys who will go around just trying to piss people off doing anything for a viral clip, think like Jack Doherty. This, however, feels a little bit newer, a little bit different. And like, I'm not saying that it's worse by any means, because trust me, I would rather people just go crazy about anything that Dexerto tweets and get pissed off about it instead of, a bunch of dumbasses harassing people with a camera for views. However, I do think this is an interesting thing to talk about, because I feel like in an era where media literacy is about to get extremely important, we are seeing it drop like a lot. To me, these sorts of clips are seeming to do to the 30 and under crowd what AI posts are doing to the like 50 and over crowd. People cannot tell anymore when they're being taken advantage of on the internet, it seems. And, to be honest, I don't know if I can really blame them. I feel like this is one of those things where, since 100%. I basically deal with it every single day, I sometimes start to forget that the average person does not, and I have to remember that for it to make sense that most people would not think twice about shit like this, because I feel like the average person does not really fully grasp just how monetized every single thing on every single social media is these days. Facts. If you want to know why rage bait is so popular these days, it's because you can get paid money for basically any fucking thing that happens on social media now. That's why there's so many bot accounts on Twitter. That's why there's so many people on TikTok who will shill literally anything they can find in the TikTok shop. That's why half of every single Twitter comment section is just dudes who will sit around on Twitter all day long, disagreeing with anybody who's willing to talk to them, trying to get as many conversations and as many impressions as possible. And it's why you've got guys like Kai.
You see it in Discord as well, people messaging ya, all kind of services. Oof. It's a mad world.
Nat probably paying
a world built on advertising. That's what it is.
Twitter accounts like Dexerto to take a 10-second clip out of a 25-hour-long stream to get people a little riled up. Social media is so damn lucrative these days that social media platforms will pay you for just about anything that you can do to keep other people on their platform for longer. Yeah. And I mean, look, as a person who pays their bills through a form of that, I'm not necessarily complaining. However, I do think that it's gone a little far. Maybe I'm just biased because I'm a YouTuber, but I feel like there is a distinctive difference between somebody making a YouTube video and then that person splitting the ad revenue gained from that video with Google because people enjoyed watching the video, and a person sitting on Twitter all day purposefully trying to piss people off and get people into arguments because Twitter wants to reward you if you can get people addicted to Twitter and have them sit on it all day and argue with other people, continuing the cycle. Now, like, obviously, a lot of people were going to spend their days doing that anyways, but there has definitely been an increase in the amount of people willing now that you can make money off of it. Anyways, I feel like I'm kind of getting away from my original point. Basically, why I wanted to make this video is because I feel like I'm starting to see stuff like this pretty frequently, and I mean, there's nothing that can really be done about it. They're going to continue to do this stuff because it's so damn effective and it's essentially free. Once you reach the level of fame that a guy like Cenat is at, all you've got to do is say something, I don't know, slightly abrasive once every 3 weeks, and then you're going to go viral on Twitter. 100 dumbasses, including myself, will make a video about you on YouTube. You'll get the easiest, freest flow of traffic of your entire career, and you'll just keep doing it because why wouldn't you? So I'm not going to sit here and be like, we need to end this, we need to figure out how to get these guys to stop doing this stuff, because they're not gonna. Really, what I want to say is that the next time you see something like this, the next time you see a tweet or a clip like this, where somebody is doing something or saying something that isn't like crazy offensive, but it's enough that it's something you might talk about, just ask yourself, is this real? Does this feel organic to me? Does this really feel like somebody was just watching a 24-hour-long stream and decided to clip what was basically a throwaway comment about a YouTuber who doesn't even really upload anymore? Or was this done on purpose to get me angry? Just really sit there for a moment and think, could he have maybe picked PewDiePie because he's a guy who's done some pretty questionable stuff in the past and can't really be defended too hard on the internet? And is Cenat saying something as tame as, you know what, I don't really like this YouTuber as much as other people, really worth a tweet from Dexerto? Those are just a few things that I think you should ask yourself, and if you do ask yourself those questions and you get your answer and you still want to reply to that tweet or you still want to make a YouTube video, okay, do whatever you want, who gives a shit? But don't let it suck you in if you don't really want it to. If you want to get sucked in, pause, fine, let it happen, who cares? But if you don't, taking a step back and asking yourself, is this bullshit, can save you more often than you'd think. Well guys, what do you think? Like I said, the reason I'm making this video is not really to like try and get these guys to stop doing it, because there's no way they would unless I could like Aaron Yeager into everybody's brain and be like, hey, maybe stop believing and buying into every single thing you see on Twitter, might do you some good. Unless we could figure out that technology, I don't think that's gonna happen. So the best I can do is tell you guys, which I probably don't need to, because if you're watching my videos, you're probably smarter than the average person already, to not take the bait. You know, it seems really easy in the moment. Nobody ever means to take the bait, but it happens. It happens to the best of us. If you take it, all you can do is learn from it, move forward, be a better person. Originally, I wasn't gonna make this video because I only saw the one tweet about it, but once I looked into it further, like I said, there were tons of tweets with millions of views. People were genuinely making videos about this on YouTube, like Cenat just destroyed his career, like shut the fuck up. And it's like, I can't always tell.
It's true, like the machine just behind him will be like, yeah, we're seeing engagement go down. Say something mild. Says that, boom, trending again.
How much of that is other people taking the bait and how much of it is people just feeding into it, knowing that it's complete bullshit but wanting to get the views out of it anyways. You never really know. Personally, I just think that we should all try and make an effort moving forward to ignore stuff like this, and maybe we won't have to deal with it popping up all over our social medias anymore. Probably wishful thinking. See ya.
Maybe. One can hope though, but you made the money off of it, brother. He knows he needs it. Good channel though. It's a good channel. We stay on the channel, in the channel. And then when I post this video onto YouTube, I'll make a fucking deadly title. Milk it even more. And the fucking cycle continues. And we react to a reactor reacting to it. Reaction of a reactor's reaction. Next level.